Let's talk about cognitive dissonance, shall we? I've talked about this before, and I really think that not enough attention is given to this insidious brainwashing result of trauma bonding. It reminds me of that earworm, that specific line of a specific song that you can't get out of your head and you keep humming the same words over and over all day long, sometimes all week long, as the song is just stuck on repeat. I mean, make it stop already. But the only way to make it stop is to sing the song to the very end and the earworm will go away. The only way to make cognitive dissonance stop and go away is to face the music by taking a deep, hard, truthful look at the abuser, at the abuse, and at you. You can't do that until you understand what cognitive dissonance really is. Cognitive dissonance forms inside of toxic relationships. It's that uneasy feeling you get when you believe something to be true about that person, but that truth doesn't line up with true north, who they show themselves to be. Who you think they are doesn't match up with their behavior, and that is what causes you inner conflict. But you don't notice, as it's a feeling that is often easily just pushed aside. The toxic person hid their true north from you on purpose. They wore a mask to deceive you. And you're left thinking and believing that they are just like any regular person who has faults, yes. And they make mistakes, yes. But their ways that hurt you are not intentional, are they? They lead you to believe this is so. And when they can't hold the charade for very long, they begin to tell the truth on themselves by their behavior. And what you see isn't what you want to see or hope to see. And this has you wondering as your reality and emotions are set off balance. You see it for yourself, but the toxic person hasn't always been so inconsistent. They've been so forthcoming before. Why has that stopped now? Well, this inconsistency causes you to create an ultra disconnect with inside of you. It's irrationality versus rationality within, and this conflict turns your world upside down. Your emotions are gambled on potentiality, not probability, and this is extremely dangerous. You're blindsided by the grooming techniques as you accept the toxic person as who they are, which causes you to turn against your better judgment. Their inconsistencies mean something, but what? You can't figure that out. Your mind is onto something, but your heart just won't let you investigate what that something is, out of fear of what you might find. So you're uncertain. Your heart won't let you go down that rabbit hole because to do so means to assume the worst of this person, and that you just can't do. You don't realize as this is going on that your internal dialogue is peace talks gone all wrong. Your heart doesn't trust your mind, and your mind refuses to trust your heart. So what do? You're in limbo, my friend, and to alleviate that uncomfortable feeling, you submit yourself to the trauma bond or to the trauma maker through the trauma bond because it's the only thing that makes sense, as it's the only thing reliable right now. Hello, my name is Shannon Gilmore, and I'm a Christian author of 8 books in print. I am also a life mentor, peer support guidance counselor, helping you to release unwanted feelings formed from trauma. I help you to reach your spiritual goals and dreams, as this YouTube channel is yours to discover, as I have created videos and podcasts to help you understand that living in trauma is not a life sentence. You can heal from your pain, as it is going to take some time and understanding. So think of this channel as your community. If you have questions, you will find answers as you are able to ask them here. We are all here to learn, grow, and heal from one another. So please get in touch, stay in touch, and offer your insights in the comment sections of these videos as we are all in this together. Before we move on to this video, I'd like to remind you to please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much for your likes and your shares and your subscriptions. You are really making this channel happen. We are a growing community of spiritually like-minded individuals as we are a soul tribe that vibes together, and a tribe that vibes together strives together. So together we are making a wonderful difference in this world. Good on ya. Please stay to the end of this video and let me know what you think, as I do believe I have some valuable tips within this video to share with you that will help alleviate the monkey in your brain, the spell, the brainwashing known as cognitive dissonance. So how do you get rid of the monkey in your brain, the master manipulator that pits your heart against your mind, called cognitive dissonance? First of all, you gotta see it. How you see it is to understand that your feelings are real to you. You are not wrong in feeling what you are feeling. But please know this, that those feelings might act as a false wall implemented by your abuser to hide from you your true nature or your true belief in your true self. Your feelings are your own, but they're not your own. They are actually a projection of what your abuser is feeling about themselves. And those feelings that are projected onto you are used to convince you that what you feel is true about who you are. Through you negatively reacting to negative situations that were forced onto you, somehow you ended up shouldering that and identifying with those feelings, because it's through those feelings that you are forced to take responsibility. And if you can't take responsibility for the situation, then at least the abuser will use those unwanted feelings to hold you falsely accountable. So to lessen the grip of the brainwashing called cognitive dissonance, I'd like you to consider, when you are ready, to place yourself outside of the situation by imagining that what you are going through is happening to your dearest friend. What would you say to them? Write it down in a letter. Write a personal letter to yourself, in fact, from the perspective of one friend talking to another. This will help you gain distance from the situation through objectivity. Next, understand that the result of cognitive dissonance is formed from a pattern called conditioning. You were conditioned and groomed to falsely believe that you need the toxic person more than what you really do. Through trauma bonding, your feelings have been manipulated as you have been set up, as you were led to believe that turning to self-reliance was never an option. You were conditioned instead to betray yourself by ignoring your needs and the love you already have for yourself. While trauma bonded, you were forced to love the narcissist as they projected their unwanted feelings onto you, which then you had to internalize those unwanted feelings so that you would begin to identify with those feelings, to become attached or enmeshed to the toxic person, convincing you that you needed them. When the reality is that this conditioning of your thoughts and behavior is because they needed you. They conditioned you to betray yourself in a way that has you ignoring your needs. So I would like you to consider, before the toxic person invaded your life and manipulated you away from healthy feelings about yourself, you were most likely relatively happy and thriving on your own. You were learning and growing as Some situations of your life had you feeling empowered and so confident, yeah? The things you did and the life you led was so different as you were self-reliant, as you believed in your own abilities. Can you think back to a time like that? Tapping into those memories before the toxic person gained a foothold in your life will help you to discover the areas in your life now where you have lost the trust for yourself that you once held. Cognitive dissonance separates you from self-reliance, as the trauma bond causes you to step away and break away from trusting and loving relationship with yourself and ultimately a relationship with God. It's hard to see this when you are going through this. I know, I've been there. While the toxic person betrays you repeatedly, the cognitive dissonance strengthens as the trauma bond solidifies. Ooh. And you end up doing what you can to eliminate that inner struggle by betraying yourself as you abandon yourself, as you reject yourself, so that when the toxic person diminishes you and discards you, you feel ultimately betrayed. You feel rejected and abandoned in the worst possible way. Feeling the abandonment, rejection, and betrayal twofold, but you only see it in one direction as you see the toxic person has done these things to you, as the monkey in your brain, that cognitive dissonance, doesn't allow you to see the situation from the other side. How you've been conditioned to betray yourself is an earth-shattering wound that you don't know how you will ever come back from. Somehow you will, and you do, but not before going through the deep, dark valley of shadows that the Bible talks about. The Lord Jesus walks with you every step of the way of this journey. That's guaranteed. And how you see this is through self-reflection and self-assessment, as you begin to point yourself in a direction where you can actually see the light at the end of that valley of shadows. It's like you and Jesus walk together as you participate and have at your own hand in awakening to self. And all of a sudden, your focus is all on you as you focus healing the trauma bond for you, as you begin a daily exercise of making you number one. You focus on you as you become your number one priority. This, you discover, is the real you, the new you reinstated. Your self-reflection has you lean onto yourself and God as you make new self-discoveries, as you begin to blossom spiritually. You begin to awaken as your instincts guide you, as you learn to trust your heart's navigation system, Jesus, who bathes your being in unconditional love. Ridding yourself of cognitive dissonance, this is far from easy, and it takes great effort. Some days will be easier than others, as you will go through a mourning process. I think of it as more of withdrawals. You'll beg and bargain for the toxic person to come back as the rumination filters your thought patterns. You'll get angry, you'll get resentful, you'll feel depressed, you'll feel sad, alone, as you eventually will transition into acceptance. You are enduring a near-death experience here, so please just go easy on yourself. Your body is probably going to feel the stress and pain of this too, so be gentle. Your healing comes to you at your own pace. Listen to your heart and your body. Your healing is personal to you. And it's wise to go no contact and stay no contact. While you heal, may I recommend a book to you to help you remain in your healing, as this book helps you to understand the narcissist from not only a psychological perspective, but also a biblical perspective. I wrote a book entitled Narcissism, the Bad Boy Image. This book came from my own notes collected when a friend directed me to the clinical term narcissism and psychopathy. I personally was trying to understand and piece together the reasons why my marriage was falling apart just 10 years ago. Thank you, Judy. Your help has encouraged me as your help has been a lifeline. I wanted answers, and I dug into the psychology aspect of this behavioral disorder as I sought the Bible for succinct answers, and I found them. I published this book as a way to help remind me, as this is a reference, as the biblical insights come from deep Hebrew word study that combine with clinical and psychological aspects. They help us to make sense of what we've gone through as we learn love is the answer in all things. And this is about learning to love yourself. I have created questions and exercises in this book that you can implement in your own life, as I believe these will help you, as I have personally answered these questions for myself and performed the exercises to help me look deeper into myself and the spiritual path I desperately wanted to reconnect with. For example, I share with you the importance of a water bath combined with visualization prayer techniques that give you answers directly from Jesus, as soaking in water connects our cellular memory to spirit, as water responds positively or negatively to wanted and unwanted feelings, as experiments from Dr. Emoto plainly describe. The results for me and for those who have tried these techniques have been remarkable, as they are personal and unique to everyone. So I encourage you to check them out. They're in the back of the book. If you'd like your personal copy of my book entitled Narcissism, the Bad Boy Image, you can download a PDF copy immediately. Just click on the link provided in the description of this video. I do have a video series of my book available. This series covers over 7 hours of video content that give you a little bit more information than I share with you in the book. A link to this video series will also be posted in the description of this video. In closing, cognitive dissonance is defined as having mental discomfort that results from holding two conflicting beliefs, values, or attitudes. The contradictory antics of the toxic person form a trauma bond that causes you contradictory feelings and thoughts, causing conflict between what you believe to be real and true and what you experience to be real and true. In today's video, you have learned the way out of cognitive dissonance, and that is to go inward by reconnecting with yourself, by bridging the gap of disconnect as you reacquaint yourself with who you once were, as you learn to trust in your instincts once again. Those instincts never leave. They're just buried by unwanted feelings and thoughts. And when you begin to see your true self, you set guidelines by nurturing your heart and mind within unconditional love that is found through the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13, verses 4 through 8. You then learn to apply this unconditional love and gain a better understanding of what you want and what you don't want for yourself as you begin to assert yourself in truth, authenticity, and integrity. Speaking of assertiveness, that is actually one way to implement healthy boundaries, and healthy boundaries are essential in your growth. And if you want a free ebook on how to be more assertive, please find the link in the description of this video. Your free PDF booklet is called Talk the Talk, Assert Your Way to Healthy Relationships. Now, I hope this video has been a source of help to you as you have learned how to release yourself from the debilitating effects of cognitive dissonance over time. This is not a wave the wand, boop, it's gone kind of thing. You have to work at your own healing. And you have to repeat the process of being mindful and mindfully aware daily. You have to repeat some steps, as you will have to remind yourself repeatedly that your feelings are not your own as you learn to practice detachment. I do have videos on detachment. Now, this isn't easy, but I know you can do this. I believe in you. If I can do this, so can you. I'm certain of it. If you need some help and guidance, I'm always an email away. So thank you so very much for staying with me to the end of this video. Please give it a like, subscribe to this channel, and until next time, my name is Shannon Gilmore. Go make your day great.